Spiritborn is the first new class coming into Diablo 4 with the Vessel of Hatred expansion, and I had a lot of time with the class already. I was playing it at Gamescom together with Wodijo for quite some time, theory crafting builds, and also during the review access over the last week. I've been blasting a lot of time into the class, and I wanted to give you a summary or a rundown of things that I like, things that I don't like, and generally my impressions to the whole class in itself. I do like the thematic of the Spiritborn. The skills all look amazing, and also the models of the classes are super cool. I like these tattooed Spiritborn right here. I'm a huge fan, and I usually do not really pay attention to it. The cool part about all of this is that every skill is basically usable for the Spiritborn. So it does not really matter which one of the core skills you are going to use. All of them are definitely usable. All of them have a pretty good build attached to them. Obviously, there's going to be a best version of a build or a best version of a Spiritborn that you can play. Currently, Quill Wally is looking insane. There's also a bugged Touch of Death build. I do hope that it's going to get patched when the game releases, because that one is literally just bugged and does pit 100 with a crazy interaction. But yeah, my most loved skill is definitely Quill Volley, which shoots out the quills and is going to make stuff vulnerable. They are going to return as well. So I'm having a blast with Quill Volley. The cool thing about all of these core skills is that the main aspect that they need to function is available through clearing a dungeon. So for example, the Quill Volley needs the rebounding aspect that makes the quills return, which is available through unlocking it in a dungeon. So you can get your builds online extremely quickly just by this little thing. And again, all of these are very nice to use, very good. They all have their synergies where you generate some barrier. If you go more the gorilla route, you do have quite a lot of vulnerable application. If you go the eagle route, you do have a lot of attack speed and resets with the jaguar, and you do have poison, therefore healing and damage reduction with the centipede. And this trend actually continues throughout all of the other things on the skill tree. All of the passives do have a use and are insane. There is some that are more targeted through to the early game, for example, like velocity, where you're going to refill your vigor while you're moving, which comes in very handy early on. But there's also stuff that goes into and targets the late game more, for example, like ballistic surgeon, where you're going to spend more of your resource but deal more damage. But it does not matter at which passive cluster you look at on the Spiritborn, there is always going to be something that is usable and beneficial for your build. As you can see right here, there is basically no passive cluster untapped by my build. Currently, obviously, if I do not go into poison, I'm not picking the poison stuff, but like all these general passive clusters are all picked up and also very useful for my build. The ultimates are really interesting to me. They all have their significant place for a lot of builds. They also have a very new approach of like the spirit joining you in the battlefield. And then also there's a lot of stuff with charges on the Seeker, for example, which is the eagle. You do get a barrier if you do the gorilla. You have a reset built into the hunter that slows down the more times you reset it. And then the centipede is probably the best looking spell in the entire game. And funnily enough, this also translates to the key passives. All of the key passives do have their place. It literally does not matter which one of these you are going to play. They all work with almost every build. For example, Vital Strikes is having a very cool, interesting mechanic where you deal 45% multiplicative more damage when you strike a vulnerable target, but you are going to remove the vulnerable after that hit. You get a little bit of health and a little bit of resource back when you do so, but this creates this little mini game that you have to play because you want to keep the 45% damage multiplier active all of the time, but now you have the problem to solve of how do I keep the vulnerable on the target as much as possible to cash in on the multiplier. Stuff like a Cursed Touch or also the Seeker help you with this, because the Seeker makes stuff permanently vulnerable over and over again. So you do have these little combinations that help you to solve this problem. But then again, you can literally slap this on every build and it's going to work. And I do think this is a crazy good feeling to have when you are playing the Spiritborn. Especially with the adaptive stances, this can be used on every build, it doesn't matter, but it's going to be outscaled by the other stuff. I do really love Prodigy's tempo because it is going to reset all of your cooldowns over and over and over again, making you an absolute spam machine, even with the ultimates. I am a huge fan of Prodigy's tempo. I do like to reset my cooldowns. I do like to attack quickly. This is exactly what Prodigy's tempo is promoting as a key passive. Definitely my most loved one. And there's also one more, which is Noxious Resonance, which is going to be the best scaling thing for the very late game, because this is going to be a scaling multiplier that is scaling its damage with the critical strike damage bonus of your character. So obviously you are going to go Noxious Resonance if you have some sort of poison in your build. If you do that bugged Touch of Death build, for example, you obviously go with this, while stacking critical strike damage bonus to increase the current damage bonus of Noxious Resonance as much as possible. This also works with Andariel's Visage, for example, so I could literally just slap on an Andariel's onto this build that I have right here, and then just literally use the Noxious Resonance key passive, and I wouldn't even lose that much efficiency on the build. This is how crazy this is. You would literally just swap this out, and you would then instantly have another build which works just as fine. Obviously, the Prodigy's tempo is going to be that little bit better in single target, but the Noxious Resonance together with the Andariel's Visage is insane when it comes to staying alive through the life on hit and also in AoE. So due to all of this, there are super interesting combinations possible on Spiritborn. If you do like to combine things and not really combo things on your skills, but more so combo mechanics together, Spiritborn is the way for you to go, because you are literally going to be in heaven combining crazy stuff together and making that work. That obviously is also going to be part of your Spirit Hall, where you can combine each of the spirit with each of the spirits. You can even go and do Jag, for example, where you just combine the same Spirit Hall, but you are heavily incentivized to mix and match them. There is going to be a way that is called Loyalty's Mantle, where you can combine and buff where you get buffs when you combine the same spirit, but it currently looks like this is not going to be the best way of building the Spiritborn. It definitely forces or kind of like encourages you to combine different spirit halls together to make the maximum out of your character. Obviously, by applying all the skill tags to all of your current skills, when you choose the Jaguar, for example, now all of your skills also become Jaguar skills, and the combinations therefore skyrocket. It is amazing how much you can mix and match these things and come up with new results every time. Especially in a build making perspective, this is amazing. And also from just looking at the passives and the skill tree, you are gonna go crazy with the amount of customization that you have available on the Spiritborn. This also gets further amplified by the super cool unique rings that are available to you. Currently, I don't have all of them because I destroyed them. We needed some iron chunks on the review access because we were starved for those. But as you can see right here, they are available to you, like the Varshan rings back then, for example. And they basically give you an idea of how to combine different spirits and encourage that. You can see at the bottom that you also gain a passive effect, which is going to basically let you not put Armored Hide in this case on your skill bar, but still make use of the passive effect. So these rings are extremely powerful to get even more combinations going. You don't really need them on the ancestral level. They are totally fine if you find them on normal. They are extremely build enabling. and are a crazy cool thing. For example, right here, this instantly solves all of your resource issues and is going to also give you resolve, which is the gorilla damage reduction type of thing, while you are getting ferocity, so which is the jaguar type of thing that you are gaining. So this opens up tremendous build variety and is just super cool if you like to puzzle your way through build making, or if you enjoy being able to be very versatile for your character. There's also other stuff like the Midnight Sun, where you actually, which is going to be extremely important in the end game, where you get a lot of your vigor back whenever you are critically striking. And here as well, you're also getting another passive effect for your character without even allocating the skill on your skill tree. For example, right here, you do get the counterattack passive, which is going to be 10% dodge chance and automatically a retaliation every time when you dodge. So just by equipping this, you already increase your dodge chance by 10%. Is incredible. Again, the amount of combinations is fascinating, and I'm a huge fan of this. Speaking of dodge chance, the Spiritborn is a defensive monster passively. It is incredible how much built-in tankiness the Spiritborn has. You will use the quarterstaff basically all of the time because 45% block chance is just amazing. You will have a lot of different options to further scale your block chance. For example, every time you press your armor tight, you instantly have 100% block chance for the duration of the spell, and you can actually amplify your block chance through various ways even further. The cool thing about this is that you can then further scale that blocked damage reduction. So by default, you're going to take way less damage than quite a lot of other classes because your block chance is naturally already really high, and also your resolve stacks are going to be passively stacking if you go down the gorilla route, at least on the secondary spirit hall, for example, which is going to make you a very tanky beast without even having to invest that much into tankiness. Another crazy part about the Spiritborn is its mobility. Currently, I am running the Hunter, which is a gap closer that goes super far, and I also have the Soar ability on top, which is just another gap closer. The cool thing is the Hunter basically always reduces its cooldown automatically, while the Soar keeps ticking down normally. A lot of your basic attacks are also gap closers when you use those, and you're also going to be able to further increase gap closing abilities by speccing the corresponding Ravager. For example, right here, when you go down to Measured Ravager, you are going to be dashing to your target every time your core skill is going to attack something. So if you lacked mobility, or if you like mobility, the Spiritborn is going to be the choice for you. All in all, the Spiritborn is easily going to be the strongest class going into Season 6. I do think that is going to be very normal that you want to release a strong class, but I gotta be honest, if you're not playing Spiritborn in Season 6, you are not only missing out on a lot of new fun, but you're also not able to defeat any Spiritborn in terms of pit pushing if there isn't an undiscovered bug. I do have to be honest, Spiritborn looks amazing going into the season. There is a lot of build opportunities possible, and they are also extremely strong. If you like content similar to this, I do have the full review access playlist available in the pinned comment, which is going to have all of my videos that I made during the review access, so you can actually look through everything. I do have guides not only on the Spiritborn, but also the Raid, the Dark Citadel, Undercity, and everything that you can do in Vessel of Hatred. The playlist is in the pinned comment and also in the description. I'm also live on Twitch, so I can answer literally every question you want right now. So check those out. The links in the pinned comment. If you like content similar to this, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time.